Hi, I am here with another Mystery Science Theater 3000 box set review. We are reviewing an interesting box set this time around. It is box set 10. And this, which is 10.0 or 10.2, what was it, 10.2? I'll explain in just a moment. First things first. The box set was originally released like this, with the featured film being Godzilla vs. Megalon, Swamp Diamonds, Teenage Strangler, and the Giant Spider Invasion. Now, inside, there's not too many extras, actually. There are MST3K video Jukebox, which is cuts of some of the songs they had done in some episodes. Some outtakes, which was actually previously released on video, and a photo gallery, which has some nice behind-the-scenes shots. Other than that, not too much as far as special features is concerned. Now, what Rhino was doing at this point was doing a really lovely job on the DVDs themselves, actually. Here's the one for Godzilla vs. Megalon, and here is Swamp Diamonds. I think this one is Teenage Strangler with the rotary, what is this thing called? It's a rotary phone. I don't know what kind of crazy... Rotates? That's insane. I don't know what kind of weird-ass science fiction fantasy that object is created for. I'm just kidding, of course. And the last is a spider, for the Giant Spider Invasion. Not to be confused with... the Horrors of Spider Island episode, which has some similar stuff. Now, there's a short on what to do on a date, which is hilarious, which is on the Swamp Diamonds episode. But let me get to Godzilla vs. Megalon first. It's that's a season 2 episode, I think. Actually, they ended season 2, I believe, with 2 Godzilla films: Godzilla vs. Megalon and Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster, which has a couple of different names here and there, but that's the one, the version they saw. Godzilla vs. Megalon. It's a classic, cheesy, campy Godzilla from the early 70s or late 60s. I can't exactly recall when it came from. It was during Godzilla's kind of campy period. And the residents of Seatopia, this underground city, country, world, have been greatly affected by nuclear bomb tests, so they do what anybody else would. They send a monster after the whole world, named Megalon. And they also have Guinan, in cold storage. So they both attack. There's this scientist and his cool buddy, whatever their names are. They have a robot, and the robot kind of can program itself, and it even programs itself to grow larger. I don't know what, I guess it's Alt 7. But the robot teams up with Godzilla, and this was during Godzilla's hero period, and they take him on, they beat him up in the end. And there's a boy who's really annoying, and he's in shorts, and his voice is just piercingly awful. It's a very, very witty episode. It's one of those episodes that's like, oh yeah, I've seen this is fun. And the jokes come right off the top. And also, one of my favorite sketches is in this episode is the Orville Redenbacher popcorn commercial sketch, which is just bloody brilliant. Also, Swamp Diamonds. It stars Beverly Garland and someone who calls himself Touch Connors in the credits. But it's actually Mike Connors from TV's Mannix. Da-da-da-da. And some other shows and things he's done. I don't know why he went with Touch Connors. They also have a wonderful bit of riffing where they go back and forth on what other names that he hit on before he settled with Touch. And they're perverse jokes. Now, it's a Corman movie, and it's one of those movies Corman put together in like a weekend. and it definitely shows. There is some scenes shot at some kind of festival, which you get the feeling like they took the camera and shot and they're like, hey, let's make a movie at this place. I don't know what it's going to be about, but let's get these shots. And there's a lot of like girls wrestling. A lot. Quite a few. Let's see. But that also features the short What to Do on a Date. And that inspires a little subplot in the episode with Tom Servo trying to go out on a date with Gypsy, which doesn't go too well. Tom Servo's not a good first date, apparently. Also, Teenage Strangler, which is a Mike episode. And it is a very independent film from the early 60s about a teenage strangler. Now, is he a teenager that strangles people or someone who strangles teenagers? We don't know. We'll find out until the exciting plot twist at the end of the episode. It's a very cheesy, kind of goofy movie. It stars like local actors in this town, and you can tell it's got community theater written all over it. The lighting is bad in some parts, and the acting is horrible. It's either like completely plain flat acting or overreacting, melodramatic, over the top. And of course the star of this film, according to anybody who's seen it, is Mikey, the young teenager who is the younger brother of the hero of the movie. And he is just like, oh man, he is like, he's like a nerdy kind of guy. You could just sense the wet sheets from this guy. But there's a whole bunch of different wonderful riffs on the character, and they even trade imitations. And also the Giant Spider Invasion, which stars Barbara Hale, who was the secretary on Perry Mason, and Alan Hale Jr., no relation, just a coincidence, who was the skipper in Gilligan's Island. And man, is he damn likable in this movie. He's actually the only likable thing, and he doesn't really do anything except like waddle around and crack jokes. And that's all he does. But I wish he was the star of the movie. I don't know. It's like, I'm sure he wasn't doing anything for that week. I'm sure he could have like stayed and been the star. There is also another thing about this movie is it is directed by, I don't have his name here. I can't remember his name. He is an awful director. He is the director of Monster Go-Go, and I generally consider him probably one of the worst filmmakers I've ever seen. And although this film is somewhat better, it's shot 20 years later, although he uses some of the same kind of sound effects and techniques he perfected in Monster Go-Go. And it's about an asteroid hits a redneck town in the north. It's about around Wisconsin, I think it is. And little spiders hatch, and they grow big into like these giant plushy spiders that don't really move too much. Except, when, they're not fully in the shot, then their legs move a lot, and then they stuff people in their butts and eat them. I didn't know that spiders eat people with their butts, but apparently they do. When they get that big, obviously. There's a horrifyingly redneck actor who's just a disgusting human, and he's also in the Touch of Satan movie. He's the lead witch burner in The Touch of Satan, and he's also in this movie too. He's actually a pretty good actor, to his credit. He's trying to be disgusting, and he succeeds. Now, here is an interesting thing about this box set, not the whole episode entirely. This came out, and apparently Rhino had not secured the rights properly. Now, the problem is the rights on Godzilla vs. Megalon has always been kind of sketchy. It seems like there's kind of a couple of different versions that were distributed in the US in the 70s, and there's been some confusion over who actually owns the rights to which particular version that's out there. Now, Rhino thought they had it all sewn up, and apparently they didn't, and Toho wasn't too excited. So this got pulled off the shelves pretty quickly, actually, and instantly became a eBay favorite. How did I get this? I lucked out. I saw this at a Barnes & Noble, and they were doing a 2-for-1 special on box sets. And I thought, well, I don't know. I mean, I got it right here. I mean, I guess I can come back and get it. But no, let me, I got some money. What the hell? Let me get it right now. And thank God I did that, because I never saw this again in a store afterwards. So I got lucky. Now, that brings this into to play. Now, what Rhino did was, they could, of course, understand that fans were a little upset that this was instantly taken off the shelves within a month or two after release. Not a really good, accurate time for everybody to get a chance to get it. So what they did was they re-released this box set as a 2.0 version with this instead. They very wisely used another episode with a giant lizard, the giant Gila monster. And this also features this actually has a couple of features. It has the star, Don Sullivan, interviewed. He talks about working on this film. And also some of the cast members, Joel, Trace, Frank, get together and in character reintroduce the film and explain, basically in a humorous way what happened. What was cool was this was released together as a 2.0 set. So if you wanted to get Swamp Diamond's Teenage Strangler or Giant Spider Invasion, you still could. It would just be with Giant Gila Monster. And if you got this box set like me, and you thought, oh man, I don't want to buy a whole new box set just to get Giant Gila Monster, well, you didn't have to. They sold them in, I forgot how much this was, like 10, 15 bucks or something like that. That was a good deal. That was a very smart pickup on Rhino's part. Well, obviously, I love this set. There's the one problem of not having too many special features, actually. But that was made up in the little replacement pack, though. I would say easy 5 RAM chips. Giant Gila Monster is a lot of fun. Also, Godzilla vs. Megalon. I mean, you gotta see that. Also, Teenage Strangler is an excellent episode. I'd say those are the top 2. Then definitely check out Giant Spider Invasion and then Swamp Diamonds. Probably in that order. Love it. If you can find it, I apologize that this is actually going to be a hard one to find. You'll probably most likely find the 2.0 version. But if you can pick it up on eBay or just luck out somewhere, somehow, definitely recommend it. It is worth the inflated price. Anyway, push the button, Lindsay.